Ready to roll.
Snapchat. How's it feel?
What did he say?
Said he's about to take a picture of it. I might as well do it too. Never mind, that light too bright.
Right. We want to welcome everybody to the 71st Taxslayer Bowl. The day before the game tomorrow is our press conference, and just a few things of note. The Georgia pep rally at the Jacksonville Landing will happen at 4 o'clock today. So if you want to get over there and get some shots, that'll happen at 4 o'clock. But how we're going to run this is a couple of things. One, we're going to get Coach McClendon to open up and talk about just the week of practice and being here. And then we'll let the players answer questions from you. I'll give a 3-question wrap-up as we're closing. We do have microphones over here that when I call you to ask a question, just state your name, where you're from, and then we will have transcripts for you after this press conference. So without further ado, please welcome Coach McClendon from the University of Georgia.
I was going to get up there and talk, so you guys forgive me. If I don't know, then blame Claude, because he was supposed to tell me, you know. But I'll say this, we're extremely excited about being here. I can't continue to thank Taxslayer for the opportunity that you've given the University of Georgia and these guys to play another football game. A little bit about this week, I think our guys have really taken in and enjoyed Jacksonville. The weather's been great outside today. I know we were talking on the way over and just saying, you know, that today was the first real day that we've had any type of rain, even back in Athens, and I heard we left some bad weather back there. So we're kind of we were kind of excited about getting down here and getting to the good weather that we've gotten down here. But we've had good practices. I said it a little bit before. This is one of the few times where you can actually start a game week and end a game week on a Sunday to Saturday, like we've been able to do. My whole years of coaching, every year that we've gone to a bowl, we've kind of had to mix and match and, you know, just try to patchwork some practices in there and gain a little time. But we really didn't have to do that this time. You know, so even as far as the preparation goes, from a Monday practice could be a Monday practice, a Tuesday practice could be a Tuesday practice, you know, so on and so forth, going on each week, so going on through the week. So that's what we did. So we've had a very good week of practice down here. The guys have, you know, the one thing that we wanted to make sure that we focused on was taking advantage of each day, understanding the importance of each day, and I think these guys have been the epitome of that. So very, 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 very proud of these guys, and look forward to going out there and leading those guys in the battle tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach. Open up for questions here.
Murray Poole, Bulldog Illustrated. This is for John. John, you'll be going against Carl Nassib, I think. And what do you think about him? Is he comparable to some other guy you face this year in that category? And their whole defensive front, the challenge tomorrow?
Yes, sir. This is definitely going to be a challenge for, you know, me and the O-line as a whole. It's a very good defensive front across the line. And then Nassib, as you mentioned, is a great player. Obviously, he's won the Lombardi, but, you know, he's kind of a little bit different of a player than I faced. He's definitely long, big guy, very talented, high motor, and it's going to be a good challenge for me. I'm looking forward to it. And I think the O-line as a whole is looking forward to this challenge of this Penn State front seven.
Question? Second row.
Mark Weiser, Athens Banner Herald. Brian, what is Bellamy's injury? And are
I knew you were going to do it.
Well, here's the follow-up question.
I knew you were going to do it.
Were these bowl practices typical in terms of how physical they were, or in terms of the number of injuries?
No. I will say this. On the front end, you can kind of steal a day, because we had 7 practices on the front end before we came down here to the bowl site. So you kind of had, and 14 practices total. So you had a way to steal some time for, quote unquote, you know, the spring practice types of practices, where you could do a lot more good on good, a lot more fundamental work versus each other. But Davin, you know, Davin's not playing in the game. He's not. And it was really just one of those freak athletes where nobody was touching anybody, to be honest with you. But, he was going up there, changing direction, and then it kind of all just happened, which is a blow. Anytime you lose a player that's played a bunch of ball for you, it definitely is a blow to the team. But, kind of how our whole season has been is the next guy's going to be up and he's going to have to come in and be ready to play and play well enough for us to win the game. So, but as far as the like I said, the normal game week, since we've been here, no, it's been the same thing that we traditionally have done.
Right here in front.
To Jordan Jenkins and John Theus, Chip Towers, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Obviously it's a different bowl in that so many coaches' situations are in flux and all that. I mean, how would you describe the week and the preparation of it? Was it weird? Was it odd, surreal, that kind of thing?
I guess I'll lead off here, but I feel like we were actually more focused at the start of these bowl practices than we have been in the last 3 or 4 years I've been here. I mean, we knew we were facing a little bit of adversity, and we knew we had to respond to it and get guys in the right mindset for the practices. And I mean, we came here focused. We listened to BMAC. We all bought in, and we just practiced hard and kept our heads up the whole time.
Obviously, there's been some stuff going on, but I'll say the good thing about this team, and us as kind of leaders of the team, it's easy to be a leader of this team. The guys really came in focused, and Coach BMAC and the rest of the staff did a great job of keeping us focused. And honestly, we had some of the best practices that we've had here in a long time. The guys really got after it, starting back in Athens, and it continued over this week. So if anything, I think we practiced a little bit better for whatever reason that may be. But the guys are ready to play this game.
David Pascal from Chattanooga. Ryan, this is actually for you. As someone who's not a senior, do you kind of use this opportunity with Kirby coming in? Not only is it the end of a season, but it's also a chance to kind of perform for the new guys. So do you see this as kind of two different things that you're facing tomorrow?
Yes, sir. I just go out there and try to be the best I can be every day. I mean, you can't really focus on what's coming up. You just focus on today, and I'm just focused on helping these seniors get their 40th win.
Question right here in front.
Jake Rowe, 247 Sports. To the seniors, and anybody can answer this question that wants to, but in terms of this last week and these bowl practices, how much of it was just having one last go of it, just having a couple more weeks to spend with your guys, these guys that you've been with for a while? How much of it was that for you, personally, and as a teammate, and just being around the coaches and players a little bit longer?
I guess I'll start. I think it's, this last week is, I guess, kind of the last hurrah for us. And to be down in Jacksonville, the Taxslayer Bowl has done a great job with bowl events and stuff. So outside of practice, we'll be able to spend a lot of time together with our seniors and the rest of our teammates because we realize, it's going to be a while before we see each other again. So definitely having this last week and this last game, I think it's going to be special for all of us and try to go out with a win.
Anybody else want to answer that?
Yeah, for me, this was my first and only bowl, so, I looked at it like every day. I just try to take advantage of every opportunity I had. So, it's been a blast for me and with these seniors, and I'm just thankful for my teammates and coaches for taking me in this year. And we've just been trying to make the most of everything. When we face some adversity, we've shown this year that we come out fighting even stronger. So we've had a really good week of practice, even going back to Athens, so we're really looking forward to the game.
How about somebody over here?
Okay, I'll go for it. Yesterday I received a couple pictures from some of the younger guys. I'm part of the receiver group, and we have a lot of younger guys in the group, and they sent me pictures throughout the week of practice of with us out there having fun, laughing, dancing around, while we work hard to prepare for the game. And while I looked at the pictures, it was kind of like a flashback throughout the season that this would be my last week with those guys, having fun, out there practicing with them. So, it's definitely moments that we'll forever cherish. This will be our last memories at being with UGA. And it's definitely been one to remember. We've had a great time this week preparing for the games, hanging out with teammates, and just enjoying everything that this bowl game offers. So we definitely appreciate it, and I believe every senior is loving every moment of it.
All right, Nathan, you're from Jacksonville, so you got to put you on the spot here.
Yeah, those guys really summed it up well. I mean, we're all taking advantage of the opportunity to play one more time and to stick together and, you know, to enjoy each other throughout this trip and throughout this experience. I know for me, I kind of get to sit back there and practice and watch a little bit more than guys like Malcolm or John or Jordan or Jake. And so I get to see them, you know, and I kind of look at it as me being kind of like an older brother watching all those guys run around and have a good time. So, you know, the energy and the attitude's been great, and everyone's really enjoying each other probably more than we ever have before, and we're really enjoying this trip. So.
Next question. Okay, right here in front.
Hey, Jordan, I just wanted to ask, just wanted to be clear on something. When you said that this is as focused as you've seen the team in 3 or 4 years, are you talking about going into a bowl or at any point in those 3 or 4 years?
For this, I was talking about going into a bowl, because a lot of the times you get guys that get too worried about which bowl they're going to, and they get excited about just the bowl events and the vacation aspect of it. But, I mean, from the first practice, I mean, we were dialed in, guys were getting after it, we were talking trash to each other. I mean, it was just an intense practice, and normally you don't get that until about practice 3 or 4 bowl practices.
Right here.
John, one of Penn State's players a while ago said even though he's probably a little bit biased, he thinks when healthy, their front seven is maybe the best in the country. You guys played Alabama. How would you compare the two front sevens?
They're definitely a little bit different. I don't think I'm going to get in the debate of who's better, who's not, and give anybody the material on either team. But both of them are very good front sevens. Obviously, we have played Bama. We've seen that one firsthand. We'll see Penn State's firsthand tomorrow. So maybe if you ask me after the game, I'll be able to tell you an answer on that one.
Hey, Jordan. Over here.
Oh. The last blind.
Georgia's going to be losing some productive pass rushers after this game. Tell me about the guys that are still going to be in the program in terms of what you see as their potential to kind of step into, you know, more frontline roles.
I feel like the guys below me and Leonard, the younger guys, I mean, I feel like there's not going to be a drop-off of talent there. I mean, I feel like the sky's the limit for those guys. I know Lorenzo's going to have, I mean, the kid he works his tail off in practices, and the sky's the limit for him. Bellamy's had a great year, one of the best I've seen for him, and it sucks to see him go down the way he did. 'Cause, I mean, he just came a long way from the player he was when he first arrived here. And, I mean, you've also got Chukwuemeka, great player. He can play inside back or outside backer. Got great footwork. And, I mean, he just got to find the right mindset to approach practices. And, I mean, he can be a great asset for us as well. And then you've got DeAndre Walker. I mean, he's a heck of an athlete. He's got really flexible angles, which is good for a pass rusher. And, I mean, he's just got to learn. He's just got to get a better grasp of the playbook in order to see more time next year.
David Pascal again. Coach, this can be for you and any of the players. Obviously, you don't have either coordinator that you had at the end of the regular season. Penn State doesn't have its offensive coordinator. Now that y'all have been through all this preparation, does the media make too much of this? How much of an impact will this have, do you think, that given the losses from the end of the regular season?
I think it's definitely, you know, talked about probably more than it should be, to be honest with you, especially this late in the season. Because this late in the season, pretty much systematically, you have in what you're going to have in. You're going to tweak different things each game anyway. So ultimately, regardless of whoever the coordinator would be, you're going to do and you're going to tweak things to give your team the best chance to win. You know, so if you ran it this way versus Alabama, then you're not, and this way is a little bit better versus Penn State, then we're going to do it and practice it that way. But ultimately, whether it's called black one week or blue one week, it's got to make sense, and it's got to be sound, and kind of, like I said, everything that we think we're going to see both offensively, defensively, and the special teams. So, and it has to be comfortable for the coordinator, whoever that be, whether it be John, obviously it's going to be John and Kevin this game. They got to be comfortable enough to call it. And so, there's things that they may believe that they may believe in a little bit more than the guy that previously were calling plays, and just because they may be a little more comfortable with it, more on a personal level. John may feel better about the tight ends doing this than he did something else that Jeanette Bryan may have called, or something like that. So, but ultimately, it's not going to change too much. It really isn't, especially once you've already, had all of the installs and things like that. The guys kind of go through. So it's talked about, and it should be, just because it's changed. But systematically, I don't think, we're not calling anything different. It's not a whole offensive overhaul or defensive overhaul, and not going to see anything completely different than what we've done.
Anybody want to answer that?
Yeah, I'll say I agree with everything Coach said, but in the end of the day, the players are the ones who play, and we're the ones who put on the pads and go out there. So, these coaches, there's not much of a drop-off, so it's on us to go out there and perform and make plays and run around and do all those things we've done all year. So, all the coaching stuff, there's been a lot of talk about it, but in the end of the day, we still got a team, we still got our players, and we got our leaders, and I think that we're ready for this game on Saturday to go out there and kind of shut everybody up.
John, you look like you want to say something.
I'll say I'm honestly looking forward to it. Coach Lilly, Coach Chair, us as players know the coaches that are here for a reason, and that's us. They want to send us out with a win, and they have our respect for that. And honestly, we didn't have our offensive coordinator last year, and Coach Lilly did it, and it turned out pretty well. So I'm looking forward to it again.
Right here in front.
Murray Pooh, Bulldog Illustrated again. This is a Jake and Jordan. What kind of challenges does Christian Hackenberg present, and also their good running back, Saquon Barkley? What is that going? You want to those two guys tomorrow?
I'll start off with the running back. I mean, he's a hell of a player. I mean, I watched one play yesterday in film where he dragged the guy about 10 yards before almost getting a touchdown. I mean, and that just goes to show everything about what he brings to the table. He's a big physical guy. I think he's about 220 pounds, and I mean the kid gets after it, and it's definitely going to be fun getting after a running back at his caliber, because I personally like the guys that try and power through you, because I mean it's a game of it'd be a game of willpower for that. And I mean Hackenberg, I mean he's a great quarterback. I mean if you let him build his confidence up, I feel like he can definitely dominate the game.
Yeah, I'll talk about Hackenberg. He's definitely an NFL quarterback. There's no doubt about that. He can put the ball wherever he wants it. The key with him is we can't let him get comfortable in the pocket. We got to get pressure on him. We got to mix things up, confuse him a little bit, and get him in third and long, second and long situations. But if we give him time, and he'll find his receivers and he'll make the throws. So he's a great player, and it'll be a great challenge.
Right here in front.
Hey, Brian. You mentioned Coach Schottenheimer. What's your understanding of why he isn't here?
To be honest with you, me and Coach have had conversations about it. I'll kind of leave that between us, to be honest with you. I really, just like the rest of the bowl preparation, like all my attention and my focus to be on the people that are here and the players that are here, because, that's why we're here. We're here for these guys. That was one thing that I said, I think, in the very first meeting that I met with those guys is just said, hey, man, we're all in this deal together. We are, and that's why we're here, and so that's where my focus is. That's where my focus has been, and that's where it's going to stay.
We're going to go 3 more questions.
Hey Brian, when you started doing the interim head coach deal, you said that you talked to Mark Rick. Have you had to lean on him at all during this time on occasion?
A few different things. A lot of it was really wanting an understanding of kind of why, on a scheduling standpoint, why we did some of the things that we did, just because I always had a thought of maybe we could do something, and just wanted to compare and contrast ideas and kind of why we've done certain things. And the biggest thing is just kind of he's always has been and will be a great soundboard of advice. You know, a guy that's done it so successfully for as long as he's done it. I mean, he's a guy that you can always lean on for advice. So just in different things in that aspect.
Back here.
Brian, when James Franklin was at Vanderbilt, what are your memories of kind of what he did to establish that they weren't going to be pushed around from on the recruiting trail to the thing with Coach Grantham in 2011?
Well, I'll say this: I think he's a heck of a coach. I really do, and I've said this before. I think the heights and everything that he's done that he did at Vanderbilt was really second to none. It really was. Like you said, just for those guys to be as competitive as they were, and had never been up until that point, really, consistently as he has built it. But the one thing that every team, every ball club that he's coached, they're going to be very well coached. They're not going to beat themselves. They're going to be where they're supposed to be. They're going to be very, very, very sound fundamentally. They're going to block and tackle well, and you're going to have to beat them. You're going to have to beat them. Like I said, they're not going to beat themselves. When you couple that with the quarterback that they're talking about as a very high draft pick and a Lombardi Award winner, and like you said, they got a 1,000-yard rusher, in Saquon. I think, I think everybody in here knows, I've seen a bunch of good running backs over the days, and he's a good one. He really is. And so, I mean, you put all those things together, and you got a team that's going to be hard to beat. You got a very, very, very good challenge ahead of you that I think everybody's kind of ready for tomorrow. So, but that's what I expect. That's what I expect from him. That's what I expect from a team that he's coached, just like you said, just like it was when he was at Vanderbilt.
Last question. Anybody? All right, well, we'll wrap it up.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thanks, coaches and players. Good luck tomorrow.